Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CanadianGameDevs.com podcast. This is episode number 165 for the week of November 2nd, 2020, a day before the United States presidential election, a week before the release of the new consoles, and I can tell you which one I am much more excited for, Steve.
Xbox Series X?
Xbox Series X. I meant between the election or the consoles, but yes, between the two of them, I'm kind of more excited for Xbox than PlayStation. But that's beside the point.
I have a guilty pleasure of like watching election nights on the news, like CNN for American elections and CP24 for like Canadian ones. I don't know. I just like it. I make popcorn. It's good times.
My name's Steven. It's spelled with a PH and an A. I am not a sadistic freak who likes to watch U.S. elections.
How's that sadistic?
Joining me is Steve, who might need counseling at some point in the future. He's spelled with a PH and an E, but we call him Steve. No one's ever confused, ever.
You think that's statistic?
What statistic?
Sadistic? To watch election stuff?
Yeah, don't do that to yourself.
Why
Just
not?
tune in the next day, read the New York Times comprehensive thing, and then go on with your life.
You don't pay attention to any election on like the election night on TV or anything?
I didn't have TV growing up, but since then, during the last election, I kind of watched a live tracker for the 2016 election, and then for the 19 Canadian election, I watched CBC. I had it on in the background. I was sad. I'm always sad, Steve. I voted in 4 elections. I've never earned representation in any form of government.
I voted in, I don't know, however many there's been since 2005, and I think I've come out top a couple times, but I've also have been bounced around quite a bit. Anyway, sorry, we can continue.
We can continue. Something I'm not sad about is our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs. They help us pay for the site fees, help us to take time out of our free time to do this content, put stuff on the site, and we in return provide Discord perks, 2-day early access to the show, game key giveaways, discounts for Canadian gaming events like EGLX, which is returning, and shout outs at the end of every episode, and the knowledge that they're helping us do what we do. I want to, at the top of the show, once again, plug all the Indigenous supports that we want people to be aware of. Landback Lane in Ontario, link in the description. The Wet'suwet'en in BC protesting the pipeline being rammed across their land. And the Micmac out here in Nova Scotia. I will be plugging this every week until they get to exercise their treaty rights. And again, Night of the Indigenous Devs from a collective of Indigenous game developers, including interviewee of the show, Megan Byrne, and lovely person on Twitter and in our Discord, is up now on YouTube if you want to watch a compilation of games from Indigenous developers in Canada and across the world. Check that out. Again, linked in the show notes. Now, Steve, at the top of the show, I want to plug some jobs for you. We are having a really good problem of a lot of people coming to us trying to advertise jobs. We're in talks with a few more studios who are trying to get jobs up on the site, but for today we have 3. Of course, Canuck Play in Peterborough is still looking for senior Unity game developer, technical animator, and a 3D modeler for static objects. These are all on site at their Peterborough office. They, of course, are hot off the heels of Doug Fluty's Maximum Football 2020 on PS4 and Xbox One with next-gen upgrades on the way, and are starting work on a brand new IP that I am very excited about, Steve. I'm not a big, football sim guy. I've dabbled with Madden here and there, but new IP is what I'm most interested in, and I think this would be a good opportunity for any up-and-coming game developers, animators, and modelers out there to get on the ground floor or something.
I hope it's a Doug Fluty first-person shooter.
What if it's like the career mode? Like, you don't play football, it's everything outside of the sport life, you know what I mean?
Oh, like how they have the coaching simulator games back in the day, and like team management stuff modes in sports games.
That would be really funny. And you're still Doug Fluty, and he's still in the football uniform. It's not that. It's a new open world adventure game, but that would be funny. Stormy Shore in Paradise, Newfoundland is looking for a designer on their upcoming project. And Hardsuit Labs in Seattle, Washington is looking for a lead game designer, and they are willing to support remote contracts and TN visas for the right candidate. These are all on our site at canadiangamedevs.com/jobs and in the show notes. So if you are looking for work, check out these positions. Yeah, that's it for jobs. Let's move into the news, Steve. I've moved events to the end because I think people want the meat of this podcast up front. I don't know. I'm always tinkering. We always try and see what works best.
Yeah. No, and I agree. Throw the events at the end. I'm good.
Top of the show, I want to plug this new game release from Adil Game Dev. I think Adil Game Dev. They're a big presence in our Discord, and they've been actively trying to get better at their work and looking for feedback in the Discord and doing different I think they signed up for one of the Ryan Beno like art mentorship things. And so they've released their first game. It's out on itch.io, coming to Steam soon. It's called NoSeq, NOSEQ. You ever had dreams but never kept a dream diary? Me neither. This game is a throwback to dreaming and not having your cake. Don't remember anything? No worries. You'll forget everything after today too. They're featuring a really pretty art style I like a lot, and I recognize a lot of these screenshots from like them posting in our Discord, like, what do you think, this or this? I'm like, oh, I like that one. It's a name your own price, download it or chip in a couple bucks if you can. And yeah, they've worked with some 3D artists, a new musician and a new sound designer, and yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, but it's free, there's no reason not to. And yeah, what do you think, Steve? You look at this itch.io page. What jumps out to you?
Yeah, no, I also noticed some of the stuff we've seen in the Discord. I actually just bought it. If you want to play the sound,
I'll play the sound.
Yeah, I chipped in $5
Winner,
to the developer, but looks pretty cool. I'm down with it. I actually had to play an itch.io game the first time that I ever actually played an itch.io game the other day, so I didn't like know what I was doing, but I'm going to try to play this week, and then I can talk about it next week. But yeah.
You download the launcher?
Oh, is there a launcher?
Yeah, you can download a launcher. It essentially does their website, but a lot more reliably, I think.
Oh, okay. So I don't know that. I just downloaded the .exe file and it just created a thing on. It was like I was back in like 2002 when it just like created like an icon on my computer and just like played off that. So I'll do that with this too. But yeah, I'm excited to jump in and see this. I think it's his first game too. So
yeah, they've really trying to get help and feedback and mentorship, and it's really cool to see the progress they've made just in a few months of me following their work. Mm-hmm. Next bit of news today, of course, last week the big announcement was Darkest Dungeon 2 coming early access 2021, exclusive on the Epic Game Store. Since then, we've had some more press about the game. Specifically, I learned a few things this week in an interview with PC Gamer. They talked to Vancouver-based studio Red Hook about Darkest Dungeon 2. The big change, and as we talked about last week, is moving to 3D models. The first thing I thought of is kind of like, because they have those, thick black lines, and is it cell shading? It's not cell shading. The art style is now reminding me of Telltale in that, and that's a big thing. They're tackling from a tech perspective, because obviously moving from 2D to 3D introduces a whole bunch of new challenges. They're also bringing back the narrator, which is key, Steve. For anyone who's played Darkest Dungeon, there's this like brooding narrator voice that sort of is speaking over everything you're doing and does the beautiful opening intro, and he's back, and that's key for me, because that's one of the most memorable voices in a game I've played in a long time.
Really? Oh man, I really need to jump in on this. Someone like tweet at us about picking up, because it's still $10 on the PlayStation Store or whatever. Actually,
the trophies are brutal though, Steve. If that helps at all, like.
No, I'm really trying hard to get away from the percentage of trophy stuff, because I have a few like 1, 2, 3% that are just killing me, like Dead by Daylight and stuff, and other games that I have like no interest really in playing further. So I'm trying not to care. But this game is only on sale until tomorrow. My problem is that Sony hasn't really gone into detail about the backwards compatibility. I don't want to be shit out of luck in like a week. Because
no. They said every every PS4 game works except for these few.
No, but then did you see this week Ubisoft ended up deleting the page, but they had a page of some Assassin's Creed games that didn't work, and one of them was like Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Oh no,
But then they took down the page, so people were like, "Wait, what?"
I
so
didn't see that.
so while there's like a 99% chance that Darkest Dungeon works fine, I don't want to pull the trigger and just be screwed. But I might just do it because I think the dude who spoke to us on Twitter, I forget your name. I think he said that it works on Vita, and that's obviously the best place to play any game. So I might just do that.
It does, and it's cross progression because you're selling your PS4, right?
Well, I'm giving it to my brother. Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, so they talked to Chris Barassa, the creative director on Darkest Dungeon 2, and I like his vision for it. He said, quote, "We wanted to make sure this game provided a different experience to Darkest Dungeon, an analogous one, a familiar one, but still not an identical one. We set out with this broad kind of vision statement for what that would like, and we're really in the thick of discovering what that means," end quote. And I think that approach to Darkest Dungeon 2 means they had to go with early access. Like, if you look at the success of a lot of these early access indie games, it is discovering what that means with the biggest fans. And I'm really interested to see if this is another like Hades or even Rogue Legacy 2 we've seen a lot of success with so far situation where like this is a sequel, and well, Hades wasn't a sequel, but it had like a massive community of Supergiant fans already.
Yeah.
That you work with over the course of like, I'm guessing probably a year, maybe a year and a half, to figure out what does this game need to be so that it's enough of a sequel, but the hardcore fans still like it, and that's a fine balance beam they're going to walk through development.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're getting your like biggest fans to kind of pitch in and feel part of the game development and stuff, and it's good. Sorry, did they say like when this will be out in early access though?
2021. So they're doing that very tentative, probably next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, narrator's back. I love him. New art style, amazing, and I will probably. I'm gonna get this day one. I don't know where. Oh, Epic Game Store, I guess. I don't know if they're gonna hit consoles. Probably not. They'll do the Hades thing where like it does Epic Store early access for a year and then launches everywhere else when it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for Darkest Dungeon 2, and that guess what the board game Kickstarter is at right now out of their $400,000 Canadian goal.
I think it was so last week. I think it was around 2.7 million or so, right? Oh my
Guess.
God. Because you're like laughing and stuff, I'll say like 4.5 million.
4.2. You were really close.
That is, I had no idea. That is ridiculous. We should make a board game.
Dude, board game fans are nuts. They're nuts. Oh man, that's so funny. Anyway, lots of Darkest Dungeon 2 excitement. I'm excited for it a lot. I hope Steve picks it up on PlayStation and checks it out.
I'm doing that right now, actually.
Oh, another bot sound?
Another purchase. Although, I got a new credit card, and I don't know it off by heart, but Google knows it, so I'm trying to see if I can do that right now. So,
all right, I'll play it anyway. I count it because I trust you. Anyway.
Here we go. Yeah. It's good. I'm good.
He's good. Next bit of news today. Speaking of Rogue Legacy 2, Steve, the first big update since launching in early access came out. It is the Far Shores update. They're doing something interesting with this where every time they add an update, they're going to like expand this poster to the right. That'll like include each update, which I think is pretty. And I like this new update. Let's see here. The Far Shores update. Let me find the Steam post here. I should have linked this before, but that's okay.
Oh my God.
In version 0.20, it's finally here. After months of work, we're incredibly excited to release our first content update for Rogue Legacy 2. The campaign expands. There's a new core class update, new talents, new mystery XP, new Unity system. Remember that Unity stat on your gear? Now it does something. Wear enough pieces of the same set to unlock special bonuses for your character. There are now antiques, new hero classes, unique character encounters, loads of balance and tweaks, and a massive list of bug fixes. And I like they did something similar here to Hades, where they mention which thing is because of the community and which thing is something they just brought to the game themselves. It's interesting to see what the community highlights. This has 469 likes on Steam. Nice. We both have different opinions about Rogue Legacy 1, but Rogue Legacy 2, have you played it yet?
No, I haven't played it. They gave us codes. I feel bad. I want to play it.
I feel bad too.
I just haven't gone around to it. I think a few people in our Discord have played it and said good things, but now I'm just looking to the right of the poster to see like what possibly like can connect to see what like the next poster might be or whatever. But I want to dive in. Yeah, I just haven't gone around to it.
The
Hopefully
current
it comes to Vita.
doubt. Press X to doubt. It's currently at very positive out of 1,300 reviews.
Damn,
Big.
Nice.
Let me see what the top funny review is. If you pick a vegan character, eating meat hurts you. That's awesome.
That's
the only
good.
negative reviews are calling it bare bones. You can literally see in the early access tab what's in the game right now. Don't buy an early access game and complain it's not done.
That's good because Cellular Games released. They had Rogue Legacy, and that was obviously like that was huge. And then they released Full Metal Furies, which I guess didn't do as well. And I remember reading a blog post about just like what they thought went wrong with it. I wonder if they still have it up or whatever. But I just remember reading something about how like that game really did not like perform at all. And it was kind of like in the thing where I'm like, you know, Drinkbox Studios did Guacamelee, and then they didn't do Guacamelee 2. And then these guys, you know, they had Rogue Legacy, which was a huge success for them. And then they didn't jump into Rogue Legacy 2. And I'm just wondering, I was just kind of like, man, sometimes I feel like you need that sequel to get some of that money before you kind of make the...
the first made the money, you know? Like the first put them in a position where they could try something new and weird.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like you get the money to make the sequel, and then the sequel is like the bonus money is what I'm kind of thinking, and then that gives you the wiggle room. I'm not saying that Full Metal Furies didn't like super perform, I'm because I can't really find that blog post, so I'm just going off of just memory. Or if Severed didn't really, I mean, Severed probably did well for Drinkbox Studios because it was like
critically, it won a whole bunch of. It won a bunch of the Apple Design Awards, and well, it was essentially one of the only big Vita games to come out that year, so it won all the best Vita Game of the Year awards.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting when people decide not to kind of go straight to the sequel, which, to me, like, to business wise, kind of makes them more might make more sense. But maybe that's not what they wanted to do creatively. But anyways, Rogue Legacy 2 does look sweet. I gotta jump into it. Maybe we should try to play next week or before next week.
Yeah, we should definitely stream it because I'm interested in streaming it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Guacamelee, Steve, I want to plug their new vinyl because I'm a big vinyl fan. You know, I bought that A Short Hike vinyl day one.
Didn't they tweet something too recently?
Who, Drinkbox?
Yeah, didn't they? Say something?
They on July 28th they tweeted this GIF of two eyes and then the emoji eye in the body, and nothing since then. I know. But they've been doing these like profiles in the in-house art style of all the like different people on the team that I'm sure is going to go on their website someday. But yeah, since July 28th, they've just tweeted this GIF of the eyes that is probably related to their next project and nothing.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? On October 28th, they said we have some exciting news to share tomorrow.
It was this
vinyl.
next bit of news. The vinyl. Sorry. So check out, they've partnered with Ship to Shore Phone Co. for a 2 vinyl set of Guacamelee 1 and 2 soundtracks. The art is by the concept artists at Drinkbox, Augusto, and I am listening to this. I love the Guacamelee music, Steve. It's so much fun. I'm gonna cop this. I've adopted that phrase you use. I know it's a thing in like sneaker culture and stuff, but I like it.
Oh, nice. I'm glad I can have this influence on you.
I love vinyls, and Tori actually just bought me a vinyl player for our anniversary this summer, and I've been playing records again because my last one broke, so I've had this like big box of vinyls I couldn't listen to, and I'm so excited for that Short Hike vinyl, and I will definitely get this Guacamelee vinyl too. So if you're a fan of indie game music and Guacamelee in particular, check that out. Next game I want to plug today, this is a weird one.
I was just watching this trailer.
It made a little splash in our Discord and on our timeline. Struggling from Chasing Rats Games in Montreal. It's out now on Steam. This game's weird. It's kind of like a physics-based platformer. You're this deformed, multi-head blob with two arms, and you're kind of like platforming your way around. It's kind of like Gist, Gist, the game from the oh man, what's that? Binding of Isaac guy, Edmund McMullen, and it's. Quote, struggling is a physics-based co-op platformer with a twisted spin on teamwork. Control the arms of a squishy abomination and lead it through a deranged world. $17.49 on Steam. Winner of the Best in Show Mega Awards 2019, PAX East Top 4 Co-op Game. Official selection at Mix, PC Gamer, E3 Hidden Gem. Loads of awards here. What's the top funny review? Let's see. This game feels like the devs asked my parents what they think of me and then designed the main character. 10 out of 10 would disappoint my father again.
All reviews, nice. 114. It's very positive, so.
Yeah, it's critically doing quite well. So I'm interested in this game a lot. It'll be featured at Mega Migs, which is happening November 11th to 13th, the big Montreal International Game Summit. So you can check that out. It's also on Steam.
Yo,
what?
Are you seeing? Have you looked at the Steam page
for this struggling game?
Struggling, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
I want you to scroll down to the second last bullet point, which is gleefully deprived visuals.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
So they have.
This is a picture.
Yeah, they have some bullet points of like, two hideous heads are better than one, and then it describes it. Crawl, swing, clamor, and slide to victory, and it describes it. Then they have, I think this is all part of the picture. They have a picture of or a GIF really of the other three bullet points: weird levels, gleefully deprived visuals, and ever mutating character. And the character crawls along the words or whatever as a GIF.
That's so trippy because it's formatted the exact same way the text is in a normal Steam description.
I know, you can only tell because it looks a little bit grayer than.
And you can't highlight it or anything. It's a picture.
Oh yeah, true, yeah.
Like if I right click, it's like save image as. That's awesome.
That's some good shit.
That's a contender. Like I love the art rally Art of Rally game that we called our favorite Steam description because of how it had the car drive through the description and looks like it was going to come out of the screen. This is up there with me for great use of Steam description and GIFs.
Yeah, this is some good shit. I'm
only a 65 on Metacritic. What is Metacritic now?
Nothing. How many reviews on Metacritic?
Oh, it's only got 6. 3 mixed, 3 positive.
Of fans or of the critics?
It doesn't have enough user scores yet. Awaiting one more rating. I'm gonna give it a 10 because user reviews are bullshit.
I'm gonna. Well, I mean, it has very positive out of 114 people on Steam. So I mean, there you go. I just added it to my wish list, by the way.
You add it to your wish list?
Yeah.
Boom! I gave it a 10. Let's see what the user review's at. Wait, it didn't update. Does it have to verify me or something?
So weird. Love this game. You got your duck jokes, horrific imagery, and so much more. Big tip: use Parsec if you want to play online. And then says product refunded.
Huh. Okay.
I didn't know that if you left a review, it then says, what if the person buys it again? Does it wipe that away?
It probably goes away. It's probably a toggle. Interesting.
Jesus, someone has 223 hours on record.
It only came out a week or two ago. Chill. That's not a lot of sleep in those time.
I know. Okay.
All right, Steve. Next bit of news today. Later Daters Part 2, episodes 4 to 7, out now on Steam and Nintendo Switch. I would describe this game as the horniest game I've played in 2020. And it's very, very endearing, very funny, very real. If you don't know, Part 1 came out earlier this year from Toronto-based indie studio Bloom Digital, featuring some art from people in our Discord. Mm-hmm. And the game follows a character you create and give kind of a bit of a backstory to. I name my cat Steve after Steve, of course, and then you can pick, your character's roughly visual, how they identify, and then you play a dating sim in an old folks' home with that character. Episodes 1 to 3 came out earlier this year, which feels like a decade ago, and I played it on stream. Loved it, had a great time.
That was this year? Oh my god.
Yes, exactly. Part 2 is finally out. I played the first episode on stream this week. It was this fever dream induced from like bad mac and cheese where you're on. It was like a Star Trek parody where everyone in the old folks' home was part of this like ship trying to like decipher what's going on with this wormhole. And
Oh,
it was a
really?
lot of like it was a lot of sexual innuendos about different ship features, like the thrusters are a little thrusty, need to be lubricated, and just stuff like that. It was absurd. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to dive into the last 3 chapters. It's very good. It's a very good game, Steve.
You're gonna be mad at me because you told me to play it, but I didn't play it.
That's okay. I forgive you.
Part two. I mean, we both played part one. You know, apparently earlier this year, which I doubt. Um, but does it still have the dope intro song?
Yes, yes. Later, daters.
Oh, so good. We should have an end of the
daters.
year category just for the greatest like intro song.
Dun,
Just for,
dun, 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 dun. Later, daters. Hold on, I'm gonna find the Later Daters song right here because it's so funny. It's
So
got
is-
great lyrics too.
so is this the end of? Is this like they're finished with the releasing? Do we
Yeah.
know?
Hold on,
Yeah.
here we go. Can you hear this?
It's quiet. You're going to bump it.
Oh man, it's so good, Steve.
There you go.
No matter how old you get, little action 'cause you're not dead yet. Daters, do you want it? Draw my grandma. See you over there in the dining hall. It's a beat and my blood pressure falls. Sexy older person. All right, that's just a taste of the amazing menu music for later daters. If you like that at all, check out this game. All right, Steve, 3 more today I want to plug for you. Wishlist this. Missed out on this one. It just came out at the end of last month. But Lorne's Lure is out now on Steam. Described as a... Hold on, I want to find the exact description here. Described by the developer as an atmospheric narrative first-person platformer with novel climbing mechanics and modernized retro 3D graphics. Leaving his home colony while tracking a mysterious glitch, an android finds himself in the midst of a vast and dangerous structure, completely hidden from his people's knowledge. This is from an established member of the what's described as the PSX sort of style of 3D games, which is like PlayStation 1, like Tomb Raider, Silent Hill, those kind of games.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I saw that. I saw you wrote PSX, and I was like, "What PS?" Like, I don't know. But I get what you're saying. It's like the PS1 style graphics, whatever.
Exactly. There's a whole genre now that's sort of blown up around that with like Paratopic and Dusk and other games like that. And it looks really good. It's ooh, it is still coming out. All right, I'm gonna wait. It's not out yet on Steam.
It says coming 2021.
Wait a minute. This email lied to me then. Scratch that. I'm doing this in wishlist this week. Put a pin in that. All right, last 2 Steam. Beyond the Wire is out now on Steam Early Access. We talked about it a few weeks ago. It's coming from Vancouver-based indie game studio. Oh no, I'm a mess this week, Steve.
Oh, you're all over the place, bro.
The other game they developed was that big 100-player Redstone Interactive in Off-World Industries in Vancouver. What was it? The Squad or something? David in our Discord brought to our attention as a Canadian developer that somehow went under our radar. This game with like 40,000 reviews and this massive Steam hit developed in Canada.
Yeah, Squad is the one.
Their next game, Beyond the Wire, a World War I 50v50 muddy, bloody trench warfare game, is out now in early access on Steam. It's already got 1,000 reviews. Came out a week ago.
Holy shit!
It's at very positive. I feel like this game has a very particular audience, and I'm sure they're getting some bleed over from the player base of Squad. It's launched at $39.99, which I'm sure will be probably half or $20 less than whatever the full release price is. Hopping down to the reviews here, the top funny review is Prescriptum. I don't get that. Fired exactly one shot in my first game. I was a medic. It was a team kill. Highly recommend. Oh man, that's great. World War One's in a very interesting setting. We talked about it. It was a very stagnant war. There wasn't the big bombastic set pieces of World War II that everyone likes to make into video games. So it'll be interesting to see how they capture that type of warfare in a multiplayer setting.
Yeah, weren't we talking? We couldn't really think of another. Like, there's just Battlefield 1, which took liberties of it. But I don't know any other World War 1.
Valiant Hearts was.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Was it World War One?
It was.
Yeah, Valiant Hearts is great. I love Valiant Hearts. Back
Valiant
when
Hearts
Ubisoft
was...
used to make good games, they released Valiant Hearts. I played on PS4, and it's like a side-scrolling, almost like puzzle platformer.
Yeah, kind of like the whole like point and click adventure where you have to like get certain items in order to pass like gates and stuff like that. But it's a side scroller and just very story driven, and like what it did like really well was like it educated you, and so you pick up like all these little things, and it would just kind of give you a little bit of history thrown at you. And
the end broke me, Steve. The end of that game, there's like you follow 3 different storylines, and one of them's like this like older guy who got sort of conscripted, and like minor spoiler, I guess major spoilers for Valiant Hearts came out 5, 6, 7 years ago. You don't have an excuse at this point. The end, he his commanding officer's like yelling at him to like, you got to go over the trench, and he's like, no, they're gonna gun us down. We watched everyone get gunned down, and he picks up a shovel and like just takes out his commanding officer, and no one goes over the fence. And so at the end of the game, they like lining him up on the firing squad and like take him out. And like there's this dog that you played the whole game with, and he like pets the dog and then walks over and they time up. It's so brutal, Steve.
I don't remember that, but yeah.
Valiant Hearts is a good game. And apparently so is Beyond the Wire based on these reviews. Last bit of news today, Steve. I want to highlight Apex Season 7 coming out November 4th. And the developers stream interestingly showed off some of their Vancouver developers. If people remember last year, Respawn, a California-based game studio, makers of Titanfall and Jedi Fallen Order, announced they were opening a Vancouver office, trying to staff up to 100 people solely to work on Apex Legends, the popular battle royale, my favorite battle royale. And they finally showed off some of the new developers they've hired in the dev stream. It's 55 minutes. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's too much time. But that's interesting. And this will be the season that Vancouver is now working on in a large capacity, which is why we're covering it here. Steve, we still haven't played crossplay yet.
No, I know. I had my brother-in-law was over for dinner this week, and he was telling me about crossplay. I guess the new season starts Wednesday or something. So I might jump on then, but I think I had to download it.
They're shelving Kings Canyon, which is my favorite map, and
there's a new map, right?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's like bright and colorful. It's like it giving me like Greek vibes with all like the big bright colors. But the favorite map, Kings Canyon, is getting shelved, but Caustic's getting a buff, so you win some, you lose some.
There you go.
That's it for the news this week. If you want to give us any tips or things to cover, contact CanadianGameDevs.com. Wishlist this time, Steven. No, don't do that one. I'm going to bring it back to that game I
Are you sure we didn't do the second game on here?
Yeah, we did that one already.
Okay, that's the double dip?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to start with Backbone from Eggnut in Vancouver. Backbone is a pixel art... No, I didn't introduce a segment. Wishlist This, of course, is a segment every week where I highlight 3 upcoming Canadian-made games that Steve has to add to his wishlist right now. The first game I want to highlight is from Vancouver-based indie studio Eggnut. Backbone, being published by Rogue Fury, is a, quote, art noir detective adventure. Step into the shoes of Howard Loader, a private eye raccoon. Interrogate witnesses through branching dialogues inspired by classic CRPGs. Sneak through diverse districts of a now walled-off dystopian Vancouver. Sniff out clues and choose which leads to follow. There's also a free demo for this game, which I played and loved a lot. This game looks dope as hell, Steve. Backbone Prologue is a free download. Planned release date 2021. Whatever, take your time. I'm in no rush. Whole bunch of grand prize from Epic Game Store, the Strasbourg Indie Game Contest, the Mega grants. I wonder if Mega is like Mega Migs related. So it's already getting a lot of attention there. And it's gorgeous, Steve. Look at this trailer. Look at this trailer.
It's good shit. Hey, so you know what? I can wishlist the demo, and I'm actually going. I'm downloading the demo. So
Excellent. We got a download demo sound. I have to remember which one that is. But what do you think
like
about
$15 on this podcast and download some shit?
what do you think of this trailer, Steve?
I love the colors. I love the style, the setting. Like it's fucking gorgeous. To be perfectly honest, I would love like a poster or something of this. I'm excited though. It's and you know, shout out. It takes place in dystopian Vancouver, British Columbia. So you get a little bit of candid love in there, just directly in the game too. So
speak to what you know. You know, the developers are there. Why not set a game there?
like, how is there not an open world Toronto based game yet? Like how?
Well, Toronto's boring. Like as a city, like
What do you mean? Oh.
You got the CN Tower and the Rogers Center. Like no other real, identifiable landmarks that would fill out an open world game. Like it's a pretty bland city when you compare it to the other open world settings.
No, because you get the river, you get the island, you can do shit there. Come on.
Whatever. I'd be more interested in Vancouver or even Montreal. Montreal is interesting because it is an island, like in the middle of the St.
You don't even like
Lawrence.
Quebec though.
I don't, but I'd rather play a game set in Montreal than Toronto.
Fair enough. Anyways, Backbone looks really, really good. So I'm downloading the demo, so I'm going to try to play that before next week too.
Excellent. Next game I spoiled in the news, but Lorne's Lure from Toronto-based solo developer is coming 2021. It's a PSX style first person with these climbing mechanics with the two pickaxes you've seen probably in games like Tomb Raider. The Steam description features GIF singular, but that's okay. They got time. Dark, foreboding atmosphere, retro 90s PC graphics with a modern flair. Uncover mysterious lore as you travel into the depths, jump, climb, and slide your way through difficult challenges using simple mechanics. No parkour ledges, quote unquote. Climb almost any vertical wall face with your pickaxes. Excellent. This game looks great too. Very, very distinct art style, and I think this is one of those like fans of the genre would love because this person has released many of these style of game on Steam and clearly seems to be doing well for themselves there. Their other games launched for $4 respectively each, so this will probably be a pretty low barrier to entry. Also probably run on anything.
Oh yeah, I always like checking out the requirements or whatever when it's games like this, but that's not out right now, so
Minimum Windows 7.
yeah.
So probably pretty low. Steve, is Lorne's Lure on your Steam wishlist?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
I didn't know this PSX style was like so big, you know? Like it's not
it's been growing.
Yeah, like it's not like games where like if you look back on like a Resident Evil or Final Fantasy 7 or any of those games, like they don't look good, but they've like I don't know, anytime we've talked about games like this, like obviously, you know, you can tell it's like dated or whatever, it has a dated look, but it just like it looks cool. Like I don't know, maybe it's the colors like vibing a little bit better or something like that, but
it's retro.
Yeah.
What's old is new again, Steve. We were talking about vinyls earlier, so
That's true. Well, vinyls are I'm not a big vinyl. I've never even played a vinyl before. I don't know it or anything. I don't even know how to play a vinyl, but I have a lot of like musician friends and they've always kind of been pushing the vinyl stuff. My dad including. When my dad died, he had all these vinyls and like none of us have any vinyl players or record players, so they just kind of sit in the basement. But anyways,
bet there's some cool ones.
Probably a lot of Bob Dylan. Probably a lot of like 70s, 60s prog rock. Probably some decent amount of Rush and other stuff like that. Eric Clapton, I'm sure, is in there.
Oh, nice.
There you go. No Wu-Tang Clan though, so who knows?
Last game today on Wishlist, this Steve Ethernaut discover no, sorry, just Ethernaut discover the depths of your soul in an open world first person puzzle game in the vein of Portal and Talos Principle. Solve puzzle rooms using light sensors, portals, and time travel to gather the aether vials and access the core of the construct. Talos Principle was a big one. Developer published puzzle game. Also Portal, of course. Everyone's played Portal by this point. And the art style is giving me like low resolution BioShock vibes. And I like it. I'm interested. I like good puzzle games, Steve. Puzzle games make me feel good. Like when you spend your hour or so banging your head against this room and you crack it, you're like, I'm a genius. I could cure cancer, you know?
Yeah, actually, this developer, there's an interview somewhere deep on the site where I interviewed Dragon Slumber.
Quebec-based Dragon Slumber.
Because he did 2 years ago or so, he did a game, Tech Support Error Unknown, which was like a roguelike.
Steve, would you believe that game was only a year ago?
Fuck, really? Oh my god. Are you serious?
Yeah, it released February 2019.
Oh my god. Anyways, shoot me in the head already. And now you play as like a support agent at like a new tech company, but then you find actually it might be up your alley, Steven, because you find out that the tech company is basically evil and there's some conspiracy shit going on. But so he's a good guy. I'm liking this too. I see what you mean. It has the BioShock vibes and
right.
First person puzzle. What was that like? What was it? Stanley's Parable? Is that the game I'm kind of thinking?
Stanley Parable is like a.
Wasn't that like a first person sort of puzzle?
It was a first person. It wasn't a kind of puzzle. It was like a meta commentary on games and like player agency, and it had a narrator, and yeah, it was really weird.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But anyways, I'm getting a vibe of some sort of first person puzzle game that I played.
An interesting vibe.
Yeah, and I like it.
Steve, I have to ask, is Ethernaut from Quebec-based Dragon Slumber on your Steam wish list?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. That's it for wish list this week. If you want to get your game onto the segment, please send it to us. contact@canadiangamedev.com. Post it in your Discord, tweet at us, whatever. We want to talk about it. Moving on to Discord discussion, Steve, every week we like to pluck a couple conversations that were happening in our Discord and sort of hash them out on the show for people who might have missed it or want to continue to hear about it. Steve, you got your PS5 camera this week.
I was so excited. I had no idea that it shipped. And I got
what
the
does
email.
The PS5 camera do?
I don't know. Connect to my PS5. It doesn't. It's not even compatible with the PSVR. So
is it a USB?
No, I don't.
Did you open it?
So. I did open it. It's sitting on top of my TV. I can go get it if you want.
No, that's okay. I had a similar thing when PS4 came out. I was in high school, so I had a bunch of expendable money because I wasn't paying a rent, and I had a full-time job for like 3 years. So I bought like 5 games when the PS4 launched, just like an idiot, and they all came a week before the PS4 came out.
Thief.
So I went to EV Games, picked up. I had like the Assassin's Creed 4 Collector's Edition, Killzone, Knack, another one. And they just all sat on my desk for like a week before the PS4 came out, and I just stared at them every day.
I know. Yeah, I had no idea. This is technically the only thing. What have I pre-ordered? Heather got me Spider-Man Ultimate Edition for our anniversary, but that's at EB Games. This is the only thing that I've pre-ordered that I got mailed or whatever. So it's just like the camera, because I had like some EB Games gift cards, and you can only use those like online. You can't like bring them into the store or whatever. Like if it's a digital card, like what I gave you for your birthday.
Thank you.
You had to use it like online.
Interesting.
So I just got it like emailed or mailed to me, and I wasn't even expecting it. It came with another, what was it? It came with a Nintendo thing that I ordered through the My Nintendo points. I got the who's the raccoon again? What's
Tom Nook.
Yeah, I got like a Tom Nook bag thing for Heather.
Aw.
And so I had this other package. I was like, what is this? I open it. It's like, it has the PS5 logo. And I geeked out so hard. I was like, oh my God, we're so close. And then I actually like went on to, at some point on Facebook, I had like a memory or whatever of me buying the controller a couple like days or weeks before. So someone asked like, why is it shipped so early? And I think it's just like, you might as well just ship out this shit early because like you can't do anything with it, and you want to reduce the amount of delays as possible. So even if you try to ship out this camera 2 weeks early and it's delayed by a week, whatever, but you don't want to like you want to reduce as much like system delays as possible. So I'm guessing that's why, but it just got me super hyped. Now we're in November. We're literally like 8 and 10 days away. Like shit's getting real, man.
I am excited, Steve. I'm really nervous because I ordered my PS5 through the website, so it's going to get delivered at some point. And there's always that like fear, like sometimes they put packages just in our mailroom. Sometimes they leave them like in the front like area you can't get through without a fob. And I don't know. I'm not going to take the day off or anything, but like I'm going to be a little stressed that day.
Yeah, I hear that. I have the Xbox One is from Walmart, and I'm not stressing about that one. Like if it's late, then whatever. But the PS5 is I have it physical picked up at EB Games, but I have the Friday off because my work is just giving everyone in the company like a day off. Like and so I was like, oh well, I don't want to book off Thursday. Like I'll just deal with it, sort of thing. And I've done midnight launches in the past, but like now I don't think I have the energy to do that.
Old man Steve.
I know. It's like Nintendo Switch literally almost killed me because we were waiting out in the cold for so long. I don't know. So I'm just stoked, but like I'm also, I'm expecting like an email or a call from EB Games and Walmart just be like, hey, this shit's late, and I'll be like, okay.
See, I'm picking up the Xbox at EB Games. I did the Xbox All Access thing, so I know I'll get that one the day of. It's the PS5 that I'm like, they're shipping it. I get an email like, hey, it'll be like 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe not even get it till December. I'm like, bummer. Love.
Yeah, because I was in the second wave of PS5 pre-orders at EB Games. So like they did the first wave, and then they allowed it. So part of me, I fight back with myself, right? Because I'm like, well, they wouldn't have opened it up if they didn't know they're getting it. And then really it's just like, but really they could have just accepted it, and then they'll be like, well, you were in the second wave. You had to give it to the first wave people. And I was like, oh, you're right. So I don't know.
I somehow got, like, I had the email notification set up, and I was sitting on the couch watching Simpsons with my friend Chris and Tori, and I got the email. I was like, wait, PS5 pre-orders are live? And I just sort of like opened it, added it to the cart, and like, it's in my cart. I'm like, ooh. And then I was like, shit, I'll buy it. But the worst part was I would hit confirm purchase, and it would just like stay on the spinning logo for like 5 minutes, and nothing would happen. So like, what do I do? So I refreshed the page, and it was like, do you want to confirm purchase again? I was like, am I going to buy it twice? And then I just waited. And then I got the email like 10 minutes later, like, here's your shipping confirmation. I was like, oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah. The Xbox is in like, my mom has a Walmart account because she gets like a 10% off and for being like a former employee. So I don't even get any of those confirmations. Anytime I ask my mom, she doesn't know. She calls it the PlayStation and stuff like that. She just, bless her heart, but she doesn't understand like what I even ordered. She doesn't even know why I'm ordering. Like she's like, I thought you already had a PlayStation back in the day. You bought one. And I was like, there's so much wrong with that sentence, Mom. I don't even know where to start with that. But I don't know. We're so close, but I'm prepping my psyche and myself and my mental health that I'm going to wake up, get an email that says this shit's delayed or a call or whatever, just because if I set myself up for disappointed, then I won't be disappointed.
Exactly.
Speaking of the American election tomorrow.
Speaking of setting yourself up for disappointment, we also had a conversation Discord week about The Last of Us Part 2. Aaron and I were talking a bit about Red Dead 2 and our different opinions about that game. He gave me this comprehensive review from Polygon, and it was like a year later look back at Red Dead 2. I've been working my way through it. It is massive. It has like a table of contents. And then I sent him a link to my one of my favorite YouTubers, Nakey Jakey, who did a review of Red Dead 2 closer to release. And so I'm watching that. But then that turned into a conversation on The Last of Us Part 2, which turns out still super divisive. We had a few people who didn't like it, a few people who said it's the best game ever. And then JNSHN had a very thoughtful couple paragraphs where they talked about how they think the game should have experienced more spread out. They said, I put about 42 hours into one playthrough across 3 months. I only played at night. I only played when I felt like I could give it 100% of my attention. And for that reason, they think they had a much more positive opinion about it than I did. I played it all in like a week for like 5 or 6 hours every night, and just got so sick of the game's length by the end of it.
You know what? That's interesting because that is basically what happened with you and I for Last of Us 2, where you plowed through Last of Us 1 on the last
PS3.
The hard difficulty or whatever.
Oh,
right?
Grounded. Yeah, that was like my sixth Grounded playthrough.
Yeah, you just did that before Last of Us 2 came out. Then you plowed through Last of Us 2 in like what, a couple days?
It was a week, yeah.
And
Less
it took
than a
me
week,
like
5 or 6 days.
And it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to do it, and I could only play at night and blah blah blah. So, and you and I have pretty different opinions. So I think that is part of it. I think like how like because when you go see a movie, it's either you see it in the movie theater or you see it at home. There's nothing like there's no real other way to experience movie theaters or movies. Sorry. But I guess games is a little bit different, right? It depends on what's going on, and it's like it depends like how long it is, and like for Red Dead 2, I feel like I did play it incorrectly, where I was like I did just sort of beeline it through all the story missions, and I didn't really like take time to appreciate the game or the world or anything like that. And I find that people who really loved that game did do that, and I didn't. And I liked Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm just fine with it. Like I played it, I beat it, I'm done with it. I'll never play it again. But I did just like beeline it through the whole story. Like I didn't do any of the side shit or like basically if it had a letter, I did it. And then anything else I never did. I never, I didn't try to hunt animals or any of that shit. I just like did the letters. So that's kind of how I felt about like Red Dead 2. And I guess like, yeah, how you play a game, how you approach a game, like when you play a game kind of just depends on a lot of things.
Yeah, you got to be in a certain mind space for certain games, and The Last of Us 1 is one of my favorite games ever, and it's a perfect single story, and they just sort of ripped it open and beat it up for 30 hours.
It is kind of like here's
that.
all these characters you loved, and now we're just going to like fucking ruin their lives.
And I'm not even upset about the inciting moment or whatever, and we're not going to spoil it, but like that wasn't what I had an issue with like so many people did. I thought the game was paced quite terribly. I felt like they didn't do Ellie's character right, and it was just so brutal and just purposeless. Like I don't think I got anything from the game other than I guess I thought about it and talked about it a lot, but I didn't get anything from it like I got from Last of Us Part 1.
You only did the first playthrough, right? You never even went back to it, right?
I went back and restarted because I'll just get the platinum, maybe one more playthrough, and I got like 5 hours in. I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to play this.
I did get the platinum. I think really for me, Last of Us 2, like I just the ending, and we won't talk about the ending here, but like just basically the ending is just all wrong to me. Like I just don't like it at all. I don't really want to say anything other than to hint at what it is. Like it should have just like ended. There is a point where it's like this
end here.
Yeah, just end it here, and then just like they just basically can, like tell the same, like do the same thing. I'm like so that's really my only major gripe for it. Even when I played on the second playthrough, I wasn't really feeling the length of it. Granted, I was like speed running through the game. I was just like, I don't need to stealth through this shit. I remember where everything is and stuff like that. I think I was even playing on like an easier difficulty, or no, I was playing with like New Game Plus, so I had like that stuff. So I wasn't like stealth. I plowed through the game. Like the game can take you even like just 15 hours on like a decent playthrough if you're just kind of not stealthing around. But that's fair. I mean, I understand your criticisms. Like I get it.
Yeah, and I understand why someone would like it, and it's a technical marvel. It's probably the most impressive game from a tech standpoint I've ever played, other than Red Dead 2 for different reasons. And at this point, and I think I first heard this on the Bullet Points podcast, because they've ripped it all open again and thrown out all this stuff, I would want a part 3 or like an end, like a trilogy, because I think they've, in all of their opening it up and throwing all this new stuff against the wall. They could wrap up a trilogy in The Last of Us in a way I would like, and would make 2 feel better for me in the context of a third game. Would take some of these characters that they've introduced into and have been there since the first game and give them satisfying conclusions. And I think there might be a Last of Us Part 3 on PS5 in like 5 years. I don't know. But at this point, after Last of Us Part 2, I want a Part 3 to wrap this up.
That's fair. I think we will get a part 3. I think they will.
I think we will too.
I don't know if it'll be Naughty Dog. That'd be weird if it wasn't, but I feel like Naughty Dog just has like the cachet. Like I feel like part of it, I feel like they didn't want to do this game, and Sony was like, "No, you have to do this. You have to do this." Number 2.
Last of Us 1 was an unprecedented success for them.
Yeah. So, like, part of me thinks they're just like almost like they sabotaged it in a way where they're just like, we didn't want to do this game, and we don't want to do another Uncharted. Like I think it'll be kind of similar where it's like they did Uncharted 4 and then Last of Us 2, and I think it'll be like they'll do a new IP and then go back to Last of Us 3, and we'll get it kind of in the tail end of the PS5 life cycle, or maybe like another studio will, because like
I'm still working on that
studio,
alleged multiplayer mode.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't. I won't forget about it.
I'm sure another studio is making an Uncharted game like right now, right? This is.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're done with Uncharted.
No way, with the movie coming out.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think Naughty Dog is done with Uncharted, but
I think PlayStation's done with Uncharted.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so, because I feel like
it can't be Nathan Drake anymore though.
No, it'll be it was his daughter.
Spoilers.
Sully. Not spoilers. It's like a 5-year-old game.
Anywho, we learned a bit about nihilism from Nerdy Canuck. Gave me a different definition of nihilism than the one I had commonly understood. And I still maintain Last of Us Part 2 doesn't believe in anything and paints a very depressing picture of the world I don't want to live in.
That's fair. I mean, I don't want to live in the Last of Us 1 world either, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's it for Discord discussion. Join our Discord, discuss with us. I've loved our conversations in there. It's a nice respite in my day. I'm going to close out, plug some events. As I mentioned at the top of the show, EGLX is coming back November 10th to 13th. It'll be all digital, twitch.tv/EGLX. They're doing a game showcase with the Escapists. They're doing a bunch of esports. They're going to do some Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone. They got those Overwatch teams will be playing. And yeah, I'll tune in. I'll see what's up. They're plugging XQC, who's a famous Overwatch player who got in shit for using a bunch of gay slurs. But I mean, what Twitch streamer hasn't? So that's an interesting choice to go with him. That's happening November 10th, 13th. It'll be free. It'll be on. I'll check it out. Next up, I want to plug the game writing workshop happening this Thursday, November 5th, 6:30 from Dames Making Games Toronto. This low-key online social is specifically geared towards writers who want to work together in a virtual space, bring in progress projects to work on, or start something new, and have a supportive co-working session. That'll be on their Twitch. Or no, that's not Twitch. That's a Discord thing. Links to all these in the show notes and on our site, kinggames.com/events. Dirty Rectangles Online is, of course, returning Wednesday, November 11th. It'll probably be 8 p.m. Eastern. They haven't announced the speakers yet, but I always enjoy tuning into those. MIGS, Montreal International Games Summit, happening November 11th to 13th. They'll be doing it's a bunch of business side stuff. So if you're looking to network and get involved in the industry side of things, check that out. Development and media visibility is the focus. They're launching an exclusive app and platform because everyone has to do that now that in-person events aren't a thing, especially in Quebec, given their COVID mishandling. This event brings together hundreds of video game creators from around the world every year. Discovery, exchange, influence, and meet. Lastly, Origin Stories in Conversation with Artists is an event being put on by Dames Making Games. That's happening Saturday, November 14th. Join us to meet some of our 2020 Origin Story residents and learn about their projects in an evening of artist talks. So that's it for the next 2 weeks of events, of course, in the show notes and CanadianGameNotes.com/events. I want to close out the show by talking about what we've been playing. Steve, I streamed Later Daters, talked about that. It's great. It's horny. It's weird. It's different. It's Canadian. Check it out. What have you played this week?
Few things. Yeah, I didn't grind a lot in one thing. I kind of dabbled in a few. So I played. What is? It's just called SRR. I forget. Super Rocket Ride. Is that it? Hold on.
Ooh, from Cosmocat out here in Halifax.
Yeah. So I didn't, because I did the story up, and I did what you always say, which is buy it on itch.io because you get the Steam key. So I did. I bought it on itch.io. And that's the game I was mentioning earlier that I had to I didn't even know there was a store or whatever, storefront or launcher thing. So I have the little icon on my thing. I gave a Steam key to a patron, patreon.com/Canadian Game Devs.
Check it out.
You were like, oh, we have that game. Like you could have just downloaded it because they gave, what is it on Steam? What are we?
Steam Curator, yeah. So Cosmocat and Adam hooked us up with all their games on Steam so we could check them out.
So I missed that entirely, I guess, because it's over an hour or whatever. But anyways, it's $4, so I didn't care. $5. So we gave the key to someone on Steam, and it's fun. It's like an SNES style, like rocket physics puzzler.
Like one of those like lunar lander type games, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the graphics are like SNES style, and it's fun. It's pretty short. I think I only did like the one plus a little bit of the world, but it's cool. It's got a nice challenge to it. Not much more else to say. It's priced good. It's $5. Like, I would definitely recommend it. I'm looking at my PlayStation trophies, see what else I did. I played some more Foregone.
You still grinding that Avengers?
I finally got the platinum, so I deleted that game, so it's gone. Which isn't a knock on Avengers. Anytime I get a platinum, I delete the game right away. It's like a ritual. It's nice. But yeah, I got the platinum in Avengers. Same thing as I've always said. Like the game kind of came out too early. They should just AAA games need to adopt this early access or this beta or something thing, because I'm sure if that game just came out as $40 and just be like, yo, this is the 6 months of beta or whatever, it would have a much better vibe to it and people wouldn't write it off, because it's actually pretty fun. The characters all controlled differently, and I think that's what it's got going for it, at least in the future. But they got to add more stuff to it, so I'll return to it in January, February, when new updates come to it. I played more Foregone, which is really fucking difficult. It's so difficult, and it's good, but I haven't been in the mood for a really difficult game, so I've only kind of dabbled it here and there. But it is essentially a 2D platformer, combat platformer, and you just need to really have the good twitching kind of fingers to dodge and stuff at the same time.
It's Dead Cells, but not procedural roguelike. It's designed single player campaign.
Yeah, and it has some DLC, some RPG elements to it. You level up stuff and whatnot. But it's really, really good. And I appreciate that it's linear. The levels kind of break up and stuff. I didn't want it to be a Metroidvania style game, and it's not. It is just level 1, level 2, level 3, blah blah blah. The levels itself,
classic.
You're not always going left or you're not always going left or right. You're going up and down and stuff, and it's kind of maze but it's not Metroidvania. It's not I have to get some item to then unlock an area earlier in the world. But it's good. It's just it's way harder than I thought it was. They didn't really. I guess I didn't really see it pitched as a difficult game, but it is fairly difficult. So that's kind of what I've been dabbling in. I tried the Ghost of Tsushima.
All Canadian.
That's
not Canadian. But your other 3 were Canadian this week. You did good.
Oh, hey, thank you. It's we run a site, CanadianGameDevs.com.
Super Rocket Ride, Halifax, Marvel Avengers, Montreal, and
Foregone is...
They're in London, right?
Yeah, they're Big Blue Bubble. Yeah, they're in London.
There you go.
Yeah, so I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima then. Fuck that game.
Yeah, same. All I played this week was Apex. I'm trying to finish the season pass. Because they do that thing where I had enough last season from that battle pass to buy this battle pass, so I did, but then I didn't play a lot this season, so I'm at level 80 out of 110. I don't know. I might not get it before Wednesday. Who knows? Yeah. They're doing double XP for the rest of the week, though, so that helps a little bit.
Do you have enough to buy the next season pass, though, or no?
I think I have to get to like 96 or 100, and then you have enough. But
Mm.
I might do that, yeah, just so I can daisy chain it to the next one.
Yeah.
Like, what are those? Chain smokers. But
Wait, what'd you say? Daisy chain?
Yeah, what is that? Daisy chains when you like plug an extension cord into an extension cord into an extension cord.
Really? I've never heard of that before.
Hold on. I think I used the term incorrectly. A string of daisies threaded together by their stems. Oh. Or in computing, it refers to connect several devices together through linear series. 3 daisy chain CD-ROM drives. So I think I meant like chain smoking is what I kind of meant. To feed my addiction through. And I regret buying the season pass, Steve. Like, because as soon as you buy the battle pass, it's an obligation. And I'm like, oh, I invested in this. I need to finish it. Whereas, like, for the last 5 seasons of Apex, I just played whenever someone's like, hey, do you want to play Apex? I'm like, yeah, sure. But, yeah. And I took classes in school about the gamification of and the design of those systems. Like, I understand what it's doing to me, but I did it anyway, and I regret it because I want games to be an escape and recreation instead of an obligation and, like, I feel like sunk costs that I have to recoup, you know?
That's fair. I mean, with the season pass stuff, I can only really have like one game that I pay for a season pass at a time. That's kind of why I appreciate Avengers not doing like there's no time limit on it because I've always hated the time limit shit. I kind of blame Overwatch because I feel like that was the first game that people like there would be events and special modes and stuff. And I think Destiny did it too, where I was just like, wait, I only have like 2 weeks to play this shit. Like you worked all this time. Some dev fucking didn't get to see his kid, and I only get like 2 weeks to play this thing. Like, why are you like so annoying? And so I really I hate that, and that's one of the things I liked about Avengers because like the season maybe this will change in the future, but they're like character passes. There's no end date. Like that's just the pass. We'll see when the new DLC.
Just progression.
Yeah, it's just like progression. So I get what you're saying. Like once you kind of buy the season pass, you're like, oh man, like. I should maybe just go on to just play like 2 or 3 matches just to make it through the season a little bit. I get what you're saying.
It becomes chores. Like, oh, I gotta do my dailies, and
Maybe little Johnny got his job at EA Vancouver though because you bought the season pass.
maybe I don't know. We'll see. If you want to play Apex with me, hit me up on the Discord or on Twitter. I'm always looking for people. And now that it's crossplay, you can do anything. And the new season comes out. I'm excited. New map, new character, and
I'll play with you.
I'll hop on. Thank you, Steve.
We'll play with my brother-in-law because he's really good.
Hey, that's 3. That's perfect.
Yeah, he's on PC.
That's
though,
it
so...
for episode number.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, so you'll be playing with the big boys, Steve.
Yeah, the nerds.
Actually, that's not true. I play with my one friend on Xbox, and he's like way better than me. And I almost think like the aim assist helps a little bit. He'll like clean up. I played a game of duos where like I would run in, get downed, and then he would come in, kill the whole team, pick me up, and he did it like 3 times in one game. And I was like, holy shit! And he was playing on Xbox, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
also confirmation. I didn't beat Doom, so I downloaded Doom. And
okay, yeah, we were talking about that last week.
Yeah, and I forget how many chapters I'm in, but I'm not in. Like I could have swore I beat this game, and I booted it up, and I was like, I don't know why I stopped playing this, and I'm not in the mood to play Doom right now. I'm just going to.
No.
I have no interest in playing. I'd rather just play Doom Eternal, like when next week on Xbox.
You get Game Pass.
Yeah, so I'm not going to play it, but I was just like, oh, I totally in my head I was like, I beat this game, but I was wrong 100%. So, anyways, sorry. You can
anyways.
the show now.
That's okay. This is episode number 165. My name's Steven. Thank you for joining me, Steve. We're CanadianGameDevs.com. If you want to help us keep the site running, covering the Canadian game dev scene, you can support us over at patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs. Back us there to get you early access to the show, special channel on our Discord. And if you back us at the credited Patreon tier or higher, we'll put your name at the end like these lovely folks. Shout out to Aaron McLeod, Canuck Play David Winter, David Nagy, Eric Beer, Elizabeth Avery, Hanel, Jean Leggett, Jeff Shepstone, Jeffrey Canham Graph Metal, Kai Hutchins, Nicholas A. Zorko, Nav from the Academy of Games, Pixelnuts_Alex, Sean Hayden, and Stacy H. If you back us at our top tier, we will plug your projects for the every month that you are a top supporter, like Eric Beer. Thank you, Eric, for your support. You can go to thebotbook.com to see all of their work. They don't have a Twitter right now because they said Twitter stresses me out, and I totally understand that.
Yep.
So
I 100%
check
agree
out
with that.
thebotbook.com to see all of Eric's work and see if he's someone you want to work with or support them and their development and their art. And yeah, thank you, Eric, for your support. And thank you for listening. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, could you drop us a review? We'd appreciate it. Take your feedback at the bottom there. If you're not on Apple, we'd still want your feedback. Thank you to everyone who emails whenever Steve or my audio sounds bad. That's contact@canadiangamedevs.com. And yeah, share it with someone you think might like it. We appreciate word of mouth a lot. We had someone join our Discord this week who just started game development at the Toronto Film School, and their professor told them to join our Discord if they wanted to learn more and connect and get involved in the Canadian gaming scene. So that word of mouth is really key, and we appreciate. I want to shout out the professor here.
Yeah, I was surprised when he said that. I was like, oh damn, like
Brad Firminger
I've
from
been
the
doing
Toronto
this,
Film School. Thank you, Brad.
I've been doing the site for like 5 years, and I'm still surprised when people are like, "Oh yeah, I came across your site" or something like that. And I see it in the analytics. Like I know people just kind of stumble upon the site, but I'm still just surprised. Like part of me sometimes is just like, I just write this. Like we just do this for Steven and I. Like there's no.
Yeah, we do this to stream some games and talk to people about games and have fun, but it is connecting people, and we've connected people with student programs that got them to go to Reboot and Banff, all expenses paid, and it's these amazing things where like when it works and we get to see people succeed, that's really validating for me personally, and I know you too, probably, Steve.
No, I hate that. Yeah, no, I agree.
Thank you for joining me, Steve. Where can people find you on the internet if they wish to do so?
Stephen L. Crane on Twitter. Sometimes it's 8. I always forget. I really just tweet about. I don't know what. Man, I have no sports now. Like all the sports are gone except for football, and I'm not even that big of a football person.
You should play Blazeball with me.
Blazeball? What's Blazeball?
We talked about Blazeball, Steve. It's the internet phenomenon.
Right. No, I don't want it. No. I had a friend. I felt rude. I had a friend. I mentioned something about this, and I had another friend who said play Blazeball, and I just said no. But he doesn't understand that it's like a joke between you and I. And I keep forgetting to message him, just being like, "Hey, I didn't mean to sound like a dick."
No, it's at this point, Blazeball. I stopped following. It's too big for me now. Like it moves too fast. That like if you miss a day of whatever's happening, you're lost. And I'll still tune in and place bets every now and then and see who's winning. Go Pies and trust the crust. But yeah, it moved too fast for me, but I still appreciate it for what it is. You can find me on Twitter at Stephen Riley, StephanReilly, but just go to at Canada Game Devs. Steve and I are linked in the profile there, and that's where we post all of our coverage. Join our Discord. We love talking to you. We love the conversations that are happening there, the connections being made, and it's great seeing people succeed. That's what we want. Yeah, and this is being recorded the night before the next U.S. presidential election. It's going to be a very different week. Next week, Steve, both new consoles, new president, new lots of things. I'm stressed a little bit, and... Pardon?
Yeah, potentially new president. I was a little, like...
Potentially.
I was a little not distant. I was a little, like, shooken up today. It was kind of a weird day. Like, just... We're not American, but, like, the stress of it is just, like... I don't know. It was just very unsettling.
CBC's covering it nonstop. I don't understand. Like, I understand because it affects us. But like, I go to CBC to get coverage about Canadian issues because that's what we pay them for. But their entire feed today is just U.S. elections.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're less than 24 hours, so I can understand that. But it's like I kind of just go back to what we were talking about before with I mean, this is all like circumstantial, but like when correct me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but Makame, the people out of Nova Scotia,
the Mi'kmaq fishers,
Micmac. I only heard of that from the Discord and the Quebec thing. The dude who had a sword, like I only heard that in Discord. So it's like I understand that like Canada's always had kind of a American complex or whatever, where like their bigger brother, like so much of our media is like tied to them and stuff like that, but. You're right. CBC is it's a fucking tax funded system. Like I should be finding out shit in Canada, but whatever. Anyways, let's.
I want to close with the show. Art and Good Feelings on our Discord said, I'm in the U.S. and elections are tomorrow. Please pray for my anxiety. I've been planning to move to Canada for a while, but it's hard to get here. And I want to let you know, Art and Good Feelings, that we're thinking of all our American friends in the U.S. who have to deal with whatever happens in the next couple of weeks. And we're always there if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to vent to, play games with, or anything. If you're going to be affected by this and want someone to bounce ideas off of or just talk to or escape with, I'm down. I'm offering my services in that regard. On that note,
should play the USSR theme song right now.
No. You strategically bust that out. That's not helpful right now. I don't know what I'd play. What would be a good play out song, Steve? That
something cheerful. You know when Homer is going to box the one guy in Simpsons, and he plays the Why Can't We Be Friends?
Why can't we be? We'll play that out tonight or today, whenever you're listening to this. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Have a great week, Steve. Have a great week, listeners, and we will talk to you next week.
Goodbye.
What's today's quote? People always find it easier to be a result of the past rather than a cause of the future. Well, duh. All right.